Aloha. Thank you for joining us here at TruthMadeEasy.com as we continue with our Apologetics Made Easy video training course. We're going to be talking about the hidden God in this video. We left off in our last video talking about how God reveals himself to mankind through creation. In Romans 1:20, the Bible tells us, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that men are without excuse." We also saw that the heavens declare the glory of God, and the skies proclaim the work of his hands. Still, many don't see God. He remains hidden from them. We talked about the question, if God really exists, why doesn't he just come out and show himself? Why does he seem to be a hidden God? Well, is God a hidden God? Well, according to the prophet Isaiah, God is a hidden God. Isaiah 45:12 tells us, "Truly you are a God who hides himself." And then in Jeremiah 29:13 we find God speaking, "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." A couple of words jump out there, don't they? The word hide and the word seek. Hide and seek. Many of us played this game of hide and seek as kids. When we played the game, we tried to stay hidden. We didn't want anyone to find us. But this God who hides himself tells us that he wants to be found. And this is the key. He will be found by those who really want him, those who really seek him. Another thing, have you ever thought of what it would be like if God did show up one day and revealed himself to people in all his glory? Can you even imagine what that would be like? His presence, what some call his direct presence, would be too much for any human to handle. It would be too overwhelming. In our text, Norman Geisler and Frank Turek touch on God's direct presence and the freedom he has given to each of us, freedom to either accept or reject him. We read, "For if the Bible is true, then God has provided each of us with the opportunity to make an eternal choice to either accept him or reject him. And in order to ensure that our choice is truly free, he puts us in an environment that is filled with evidence of his existence, but without his direct presence, a presence so powerful that it could overwhelm our freedom and thus negate our ability to reject him." We continue. "God has provided enough evidence in this life to convince anyone willing to believe, yet he has also left some ambiguity so as not to compel the unwilling. In this way, God gives us the opportunity either to love him or to reject him without violating our freedom. In fact, the purpose of this life is to make that choice freely and without coercion. For love, by definition, must be freely given." Here on the left we see the proof glass from an earlier video. The glass contains lots of evidence of God's existence, yet the glass is not quite filled to the top. We can let the empty space at the top of the glass represent the ambiguity that Geisler and Turek have just described. So, in conclusion, the answer to the question, is God a hidden God? The answer is yes and no. It all depends on how you see things. For those who take the celestial heavens and the wonders of this earth and God's creation for granted, and see it all as just nature at work, then yes, for those people God is a hidden God. But for those who seek him and desire him, he is not hidden at all. To them, God's eternal power and divine nature are clearly seen. Well, it's time now to shift gears and begin our studies from the 5-point hand illustration. You might recall those 5 points. Point 1, God exists. 2, miracles are possible. 3, the New Testament is a good history book. 4, Jesus is God. And 5 is the Word of God. In our next video, we'll begin with the first point, God exists. And we'll do that in a video entitled Cause and Effect.